Hello, and welcome to Russ's Movie Corner. My name is Russ, and as you can see, I'm sitting in front of my movie wall, and I'm wearing my Last Jedi t-shirt, because today we're talking about this film, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We're continuing this series here on Robot Head's video, Disney Doesn't Understand Lightsabers, which I'm titling, Robot Head Doesn't Understand Star Wars, because he's stupid. He doesn't, as I said in the last video, he doesn't get a lot of this lore that's been going around Star Wars for a long time. In fact, I've been using my two visual dictionaries, Force Awakens, Last Jedi visual dictionaries, to kind of disprove some of his points and to kind of show how brilliant these movies are in terms of using the established lore of the movies to build upon that which was done in the original trilogy. And before it, of course, the prequel trilogy. So, when we left off, we were coming up to this point where he was kind of talking about how it's like, you know, they were doing weird things, and then how it's like how a lightsaber cut, through rock perpendicularly, but it didn't kill Kylo and it didn't kill Finn and all this other crap, because he doesn't understand that parallel does not equal perpendicular, and that the depth of cut, they're not here, they're like right here. So, then we ended when when Luke was walking away and she smacked him on the back of the head. And it's like, hits old man in back of head because Crush tells her old man did bad thing. So, again, this guy doesn't understand the slow reveal. So this is something that's just like the foreshadowing that we talked about in the first episode, where, he's like, it's lightsaber, not laser sword. Yeah. So here's the thing. The slow reveal is this. The first time that Luke tells Rey what happened at the Jedi Temple, she just said, there was Ben with his mighty Skywalker blood, and I thought I could train him, I thought I could teach him how to be a man and how to understand, things, and da-da-da-da-da, and I'm trying to be this person, blah, 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 whatever. And then, so Rey kind of understands that it's like, okay, well, Kylo failed you. You didn't fail Kylo. And, kind of a thing. And then you get to this point where she's been connected with Ben, and Snoke has been manipulating both of them to talk to each other, and they've started to form a bond, okay? And where that bond's going to lead, we don't know. But we know that that bond is starting to form in their heads. And this is the one thing that this guy doesn't understand, is that bond forms over the several days that she's on Acto and he's on the Finalizer. Or the Supremacy, sorry, not the Finalizer, the Supremacy. And so they start discussing, okay? And so she decides, well, Luke isn't helping me, I'm going to go to this dark side cave. So she goes to that dark side cave, which looks like a giant asshole in the middle of the rock, and she drops down inside. She goes up, and then she kind of finds herself in this like mirror-imaged version of herself. She goes up and she's like, show me my parents. Show me my parents. Show them to me. And she's pleading with the dark side to show her that, but the dark side only shows her one thing. And it's the same thing it showed Luke. That you're your worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy. So then she goes back and she's like, she's basically bearing her soul to Kylo at this point. And so Kylo says, well, do you really want to know what happened that night? I woke up and my master was over me, and he was like, got this angry look on his face, and he was trying to usurp my power. And so I, stopped him and threw a building on him. And that's why she hits him in the head. Duh. Anyone who's seen the film can tell you that. Okay? Because she thinks Kylo's manipulating her. He's showing her from his point of view. And then we see what actually happened. Luke finally says the truth in this scene, okay? Because they fight to a standstill, okay? Luke picks up the weather vane and he disarms her. Again, proving that he's the better saber master than she is. Which this guy doesn't point out because he's a stupid idiot. And then she pulls the saber to her, and she basically swipes at Luke a couple times until he falls backwards and uses the force to kind of like set himself down on the ground. And she's like, "Tell me the truth. Did you try to kill Kylo Ren?" And he goes, "I'd been seeing snippets of the dark side within Kylo Ren for a while. During his training, moments in his training, I was seeing dark side moments in him, and it started to scare me. So I went out one night to confront him about it. While he was sleeping, I used the Force to look into his head to see the future, and I saw him betraying me. And for one fleeting moment, I thought I could end it. So I picked up my lightsaber, I turned it on, and I was about ready to kill him. That's when Ben woke up. So when he looked up, he saw that moment where he was like, gonna end him. He's gonna kill all my students. And then what he didn't see was that Luke was like, no, this isn't gonna solve anything. Okay, Luke gave in to a moment of weakness. And he was like, God, I can't believe I'm so fucking stupid. And in that moment, Ben decided to become Kylo Ren. Because he'd already been on the path. Snoke had been deceiving him through the Force. And in that moment, he decided to become Kylo Ren. So he pulled the lightsaber to him, went up, blocked him, and then pulled the building down onto him. Onto Luke. Then, and we don't know how long it was after Ben left when he came back as Kylo Ren and killed all of Luke's students. Okay? I mean, I'm thinking it was probably like a couple of hours. I'm thinking that the Supremacy jumped into the system, Kylo went up and, put on the cloak, put on the helmet, and, built the new lightsaber, and then went back down to the planet and basically said, my name is Kylo Ren, and you're either with me or you're against me. And the ones that decided to join him, okay, joined him, and the rest of them tried to fight him off, and then they left. And then Luke woke up, came out of the building, and everybody was dead. And the Jedi Temple was on fire. And he went, I'm responsible. How am I going to tell my best friend and my sister that I failed them? That I let their son fall to the dark side? So he left. He said, fuck this, I'm out. And he left. That's the point. It's always been the point.
Ridiculous. Ha! The only time two lightsabers touch, and Rey has beaten both of these people. Rey is God. And here we go.
Okay, so we're about to jump into this throne room scene. So, yeah, the reason why Rey beat both, well, actually, Rey was getting her ass handed to her by Luke. Luke doesn't want to kill Rey. Luke doesn't want to fight Rey. Okay? He's basically pulling the Return of the Jedi thing here. Okay? Where he's like, look at, it's like, so basically Luke is saying this. I'm not going to fight you. Just leave. That's basically what he tells her. He's like, look, get out of here, you stupid idiot. I don't want you in here anymore. Just leave. Okay? If this is the way you're going to be, get the hell out. So he turns around and starts walking away. And she basically picks up her staff, runs over, and smacks him. Okay? Then he turns around, okay, pulls a weather vane to his hand, and starts fighting her with the weather vane. perfectly parrying every single blow that she tries to land. Okay? Then he takes the staff and knocks it out of her hand. And then she pulls the lightsaber to her. Now, Luke can't fight off the lightsaber with the weather vane, and it'll just cut it off. So he dodges until she finally gets him to a point where he kind of trips. And he pulls himself up with the Force. And you'll notice that she didn't go in for the kill. She just was pointing the lightsaber at him because she was like, did you do it? She just wanted to know the truth. This guy doesn't know the truth. This guy doesn't know anything because he's using, again, just like everybody else that has done any of these Last Jedi videos, they use deceptive editing techniques and they cut out certain parts of the videos to make it seem like, oh my god, Rey's just this, strong Force user who just beats everybody. She's a Mary Sue. No, she's not. If she's a Mary Stu, then Luke is a Marty Stu. If she's a Mary Sue, then Luke is a Marty Stu. And I'll stand by that. So is Anakin. In fact, for that matter, so is any fucking Jedi. Because the Force can literally do anything they want it to. Okay? That argument doesn't fly anymore. Shut the fuck up about it.
Made it. The overrated throne room scene. You may know of the disappearing knife, but that ain't the worst of it. It's supposedly one of the greatest looking scenes of all time.
And what, I'm sorry, what is this? That is the shittiest looking MS Paint that I've ever seen in my life. What the hell is that? That's not a robot head. What the fuck is that? It's like a Terminator eye and another eye from a different sci-fi series and Grievous style faceplate with weird looking stupid ass jaw. What the fuck is this? That's gotta be the worst looking robot head I've ever seen in my life. Who takes this guy seriously? I mean, honestly, I look at that and I laugh. That is just the stupidest looking robot head I've ever seen in my life.
I told you I know which film they copied. A film made 78 years before Last Jedi.
Yeah, this guy's an idiot. So now he's trying to compare the throne room scene to The Wizard of Oz. Which, honestly, I'm okay with that.
Probably just a coincidence. Here we go. Whoa! She's strong. 2 other Force users in the room, but doesn't stop Rey. What the fuck is this guy doing? She's on the other side of the room.
Okay, we're gonna get into this in a minute, again. But what is that guy doing? He's protecting Snoke. Read this. You'll know. They all protect Snoke. They all do that. Here again, if you've watched this film, you will know, you will have seen that he's literally, earlier on in the film, when Kylo first comes in, he tries to use his lightsaber to strike down Snoke, and Snoke hits him with the Force lightning, and all of these guys instantly jump into their pose, fucking come on, do it, bitch, we'll all fight you. Because they're protecting Snoke. They don't give a shit about Kylo Ren. We read that.
Nice pose. Here we go. The worst choreographed fight in the history of mankind. Why are you spinning? Stop spinning. Kylo just hit the ground. And look at the other guy. He's about to go for his sword instead of his head. Where are you going? Why is this guy running off? Hang on. She just kicked 3 people with 1 kick. What the fuck? This is awesome. That kick's embarrassing. Just quickly, who are they fighting for? This is their new boss now. What would have happened if they'd killed Kylo? Who would they then answer to? Very confused man. Man, she's good. 2 points here. The worst thing to have in a spaceship is fire, but these guys stand in front of a massive wall with weapons that light it up like a Christmas tree.
So what's the matter with you?
Secondly, what the fuck is this guy doing? This isn't something you slow down to see. This guy is literally waiting his turn. What are you doing over there, buddy? Fucking get into the fight. Oh, good, more screaming. Remember when Jedis would...
Okay, so I'm going to pause it here because I'm going to go on a rant. And these fuckers are going to make me do it. Okay? I said before on this channel that I would shit on the original trilogy to make a fucking point, and I'm about to do that. Okay? Because you want to talk about horrible choreography? Let's look at the original trilogy. Okay? Now, lest we forget that lightsabers are literally a piece of metal, so odd long. Okay? And it's literally just a piece of metal with some electronic components inside of it and a little kyber crystal. Okay? There's nothing to it. Yet, in Episode 4, Vader and Obi-Wan swing them like claymores. And don't give me the, well, he's a half man, half droid, and Obi-Wan's really old. No! If Qui-Gon Jinn can do this... If Qui-Gon Jinn can do that, then what the fuck are they doing? Okay? Bullshit. Okay? No. And don't give me the crap about, well, George Lucas thought that they were kind of like claymores when he made it. No, fuck that. Okay? He knew that he was making lightsabers. Okay? Now, let's go to the worst choreographed scene of all time. I mentioned it back in episode 1 of this rebuttal. The throne room from episode 6. Let's start with, why is Vader's lightsaber in front of Luke's when Luke could easily have just gone, beep, problem solved. Why? Now, putting aside the whole, I will not fight you, okay? The first part of the scene on the stairs goes fairly well. Okay? I will say that. It's choreographed okay. But you want to talk about kindergartners playing on the playground with a lightsaber under the stairs when Vader goads Luke into attacking him. Okay? It was almost like Richard Marquand handed David Prowse and handed Mark Hamill their lightsabers and said, okay, action! What do you want us to do? He made you angry, go! Okay. Literally! Luke Skywalker is doing 180-degree arcs. You want to talk about control? Where is that controlled? Even Darth Maul, who was the embodiment of anger, never did 180-degree swings with his lightsaber. Until after he beat Obi-Wan. Then he was being arrogant and cocky. And he got his ass handed to him by Obi-Wan. But no. Luke is literally from here, outstretched arm, here to here. I'm not kidding you. Go back and watch that fight. It's fucking stupid. And then there's a point where he brings the lightsaber right here and he stops for 2 seconds. I'm not kidding. Count it. 1001, 1002, and then Vader brings the lightsaber up and hits it into the thing. And then there's the stupid, like, he's hacking away at the lightsaber, when his father was literally there on the ground and he could have ended him. A lot of people were like, well, he didn't want to end his father. Bullshit! Then why did he get angry and start fighting if he didn't want to end his father? This is what I'm talking about. This fight, in comparison, is beautiful. It perfectly shows the balance between Rey and Kylo. And so what if Rey's like, ah! People are allowed to do that. Okay? In fact, she did that on Jakku! And she did that on Starkiller Base! You fucking moron! Luke did it! No! When he runs at Vader like this. I mean, literally! He runs at Vader like with this thing, like he's jousting or something. What the hell? When you compare all of the other lightsaber fights, the only lightsaber fight of the original trilogy that stands out is probably one of the best and most well-choreographed fights, and I have to hand this to Irvin Kershner, is that fight sequence between Luke and Vader on Cloud City. Only because it perfectly shows Vader just kind of throwing, force objects as well as fighting. But he also, he takes some time to legitimately test his son in lightsaber combat. And Luke actually does score a hit against him. He hit him in the shoulder. Underneath his pad. He was like, bam! And he's like, oh! And he got mad and he started fighting again. Okay? But it's the only one where it really seems almost like with the Episode 3 fight, it almost seems no holds barred, where literally Vader's like, I am going to end this lightsaber fight, and Luke is just trying to survive. He's basically falling back the whole entire time. He realizes he's out of his element. He realizes he was stupid. Should have stayed on Dagobah. Shouldn't have come here. I was an idiot. Okay? That lightsaber fight, it was choreographed fairly well. Okay? But here's the thing. This guy's going to go on to say, well, these guys spend years, doing lightsaber combat training and all this kind of stuff. No, they don't. Okay? They spend about 6, 8, maybe 9 months before filming doing lightsaber fights. And when you had years in between films and you had already signed on like Obi-Wan and all those actors to go and play those roles, those characters spent a lot of time learning their moves. Okay? But this, they're down to 2 years in between films. They don't, and again, these guys are not doing a lot of the things that you're seeing here. Now, one of the other things that I really need to talk about, and this is something that just needs to be said. In fight choreography, there's a thing that a lot of people don't understand about. And it's when you have the old style of cameras, you could put a stunt double far, far away from the camera. Okay? And in a lot of those lightsaber combat sequences, when they would do certain fights and certain things, if they didn't have a whole lot of time to rehearse, they would throw in a stunt double and they would just film it from a distance, and you would see the people. But with the advent of digital technology, okay, you can't put those people far away anymore, because they can still see that that person is not who that is. Okay? Even now, one could say that this is, now stunt doubles have gotten to the point where sometimes you can't tell, or sometimes they will digitally replace the face. But is that Adam Driver in that scene? We don't know. It looks like him. I'm inclined to believe that it is him. But if that's the case, then the stuntmen inside the Praetorian outfits are not going to be going all gung-ho, okay? Because if they injure these guys, it costs a lot of money. Because they have to rearrange filming schedules and they have to do things till these people get back. Let's look at Mission Impossible for a minute, okay? Mission Impossible Fallout, okay? Tom Cruise was running across a rooftop and he jumped. It was towards the end. He's in London and he jumped and he landed and his foot went like this and he broke his ankle, okay? I mean, his foot literally like went like like he went like that, okay? and his leg was going like this, okay? He literally shattered his ankle, okay? And he got up off of the thing and he kind of hobbles out of frame. Yes, that was the actual take that they used, okay? Because it was the first take and it was the only one that they could use. Okay? Which is why in that scene he's hobbling and then in the next scene he's running perfectly fine. What about that continuity error? Where was that one, anyone? Okay? Now, I'm going to go back. You want to talk about... So, if this guy's like, what is this guy waiting for? Why is he just standing back there? Waiting, get in the fucking fight. Okay? If that's your take on horrible choreography, every single martial arts fight is off the table. Every single one. Because they all do that! Every single martial arts fight we've ever seen. Now, if these guys are so used to fighting together, as we read in this book, if they're so used to fighting with each other, and they know, oh man, if I go this way, you go that way, and we go this way, then they would probably know, if there's only two combatants in the room, you can't crowd fight. Your weapons will get in the way. Especially, you see this guy right here with his big-ass quarterstaff. How is he supposed to fight with two guys on either side of... Because if he swings it around, he's going to clock one of his own guys in the head. Come on, man. Seriously. Are you that stupid? I mean, honestly, are you? This is what pisses me off about this. This guy's like, what the hell is it? What the hell is that? What the hell is that? No! You can't slow down a fight or pick it apart by deceptively editing certain parts out and then putting little arrows in and going, I don't know what this guy's doing. Well, what the hell is this? Oh, she kicked the three guys at once. What the fuck is that?